All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says world has noted the strength of country's health sector during COVID-19 pandemic. NDA government's flagship program PM Kisan completes 2 years today. BJP sweeps all 6 municipal corporation elections in Gujarat. President Ram Nath Kovind to inaugurate world's largest stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad today. UPSC adds Leh as exam center for civil services candidates from Ladakh. Telangana government to reopen schools for class 6, 7 and 8 from today. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar says India is the only country on track among G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitments. Nepal's Supreme Court reinstates Parliament dissolved by the government in December last year. US golfer Tiger Woods hospitalized after a car crash. And in cricket, third test between India and England begins this afternoon in Ahmedabad. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the government has created a robust health infrastructure in a short span of time during the COVID-19 situation. He said an extensive network of testing labs has been created with the coordinated efforts of the government and the private sector, which helps in dealing effectively with the coronavirus disease. He was speaking at a webinar on working towards a vibrant health sector.
कुछ महीनों के भीतर ही जिस तरह देश ने करीब 2,500 लैब्स का नेटवर्क खड़ा किया, कुछ दर्जन टेस्ट से हम आज करीब 21 करोड़ टेस्ट के पड़ाव तक पहुंच पाए। ये सब सरकार और प्राइवेट सेक्टर के साथ मिलकर काम करने से ही संभव हुआ है।
Appreciating India's efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Modi said the world has noted the strength which the country's health sector has shown during the coronavirus pandemic. He said reputation and confidence in India's healthcare system has reached a new level in the world. The Prime Minister said unprecedented capital outlay has been allocated in the union budget for the health sector, and this shows the commitment of the government to provide better health care to every countryman. He said strengthening of health infrastructure is necessary to deal effectively with COVID-19 like health disasters in the future.
बीता वर्ष एक तरह से देश के लिए, दुनिया के लिए, पूरी मानव जात के लिए और खास करके हेल्थ सेक्टर के लिए एक प्रकार से अग्नि परीक्षा की तरह रहा था। मुझे खुशी है कि आप सभी देश का हेल्थ सेक्टर इस अग्नि परीक्षा में हम सफल हुए हैं। अनेकों की जिंदगी बचाने में हम कामयाब रहे हैं।
Addressing the convocation of IIT Kharagpur, the Prime Minister said that the requirements and aspirations of 21st century India have changed, and now the IITs have to be taken to the next level as Institute of Indigenous Technology. Mr. Modi said that students who have got degrees at the convocation will not only have to start a new life, but also act as the startup to change the lives of thousands of people of this country.
इस संस्थान से देश को 21वीं सदी के आत्मनिर्भर भारत में बन रहे नए इकोसिस्टम के लिए नई लीडरशिप की भी उम्मीद है। नया इकोसिस्टम हमारे स्टार्टअप्स की दुनिया में, नया इकोसिस्टम हमारे इनोवेशन रिसर्च की दुनिया में, नया इकोसिस्टम हमारे कॉरपोरेट वर्ल्ड में और नया इकोसिस्टम देश की प्रशासनिक व्यवस्था में। इस कैंपस से निकलकर आपको सिर्फ अपना नया जीवन ही स्टार्ट नहीं करना है, बल्कि आपको देश के करोड़ों लोगों के जीवन में बदलाव लाने वाले स्वयं में एक स्टार्टअप भी बनना है।
The Prime Minister will visit Tamil Nadu and Puducherry tomorrow to inaugurate and lay the foundations for several developmental projects. More from our Chennai correspondent.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of multiple infrastructure projects worth over 12,400 crore rupees in Coimbatore tomorrow evening. He will dedicate the Neyveli new thermal power project to the nation. The 709 megawatt solar power project of NLCIL will also be dedicated to the nation tomorrow. Mr. Modi will lay the foundation stone of the extension, renovation and modernization of Lower Bhavani project system to be taken up at a cost of 934 crore rupees. Prime Minister will inaugurate over 4,000 tenements constructed under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme built at a cost of over 330 crore rupees. Joy, AIR News reporting from Coimbatore.
Our Puducherry correspondent has filed this report on Prime Minister's visit to Puducherry.
Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone for the four-laning of NH45A, 56 kilometers Sattanathapuram-Nagapattinam package of Viluppuram to Nagapattinam project covering Karaikal district. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone of the Medical College building at the Karaikal New Campus Phase 1. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of a synthetic athletic track at Indira Gandhi Sports Complex, Puducherry. Mr. Modi will inaugurate the Blood Center at Jawaharlal Institute of Postgraduate Medical Education and Research, JIPMER, Puducherry. He will also inaugurate the reconstructed Heritage Mary Building. Chandramohan, AIR News, Puducherry.
Today is the second anniversary of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, PM Kisan. The scheme was formally launched on 24th February in the year 2019 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a function at Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. PM Kisan was started with a view to augment the income of the farmers by providing income support to all landholding farmers' families across the country. A report.
Under the PM Kisan scheme, an amount of 6,000 rupees per year is transferred in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees directly into the bank accounts of the farmers. The scheme initially provided income support to all small and marginal farmers' families across the country holding cultivable land up to 2 hectares. Its ambit was later expanded to cover all farmer families in the country irrespective of the size of their land holdings. Affluent farmers have been excluded from the scheme. Since this scheme started, more than 1,10,000 crore rupees have reached the account of farmers. With Anupam Mishra, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
In Gujarat, BJP has swept all 6 municipal corporation elections. The party has retained power in Ahmedabad, Surat, Vadodara, Rajkot, Bhavnagar and Jamnagar municipal corporations. Counting of votes for the 6 municipal corporations conducted peacefully in the state yesterday. A report from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Out of the total 575 seats of the 6 municipal corporations, BJP emerged victorious in 482 seats while Congress got 55 seats. Aam Aadmi Party, which contested civic polls for the first time in the state, got massive victory in Surat. The party won 27 seats, all in Surat. Bahujan Samaj Party got 3 seats while 1 seat is won by an independent candidate. Asaduddin Owaissi's AIMIM, which also contested local body polls in the state for the first time, won 7 seats in Ahmedabad. Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani thanked voters for their trust in BJP after the party's victory in civic polls. In the by-polls for 2 seats in Junagadh Municipal Corporation, both Congress and BJP won 1 seat each. Rallies were organized by BJP workers across all major cities yesterday. With Aparna Khun's report from Ahmedabad, Aarti Rana, AIR News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has thanked the people of Gujarat for their support and trust in BJP in the municipal elections. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, results of municipal elections across the state clearly show the unwavering faith people have towards politics of development and good governance. He said this victory across Gujarat is very special. He said it is heartening to see widespread support from all sections of society, particularly the youth of Gujarat towards BJP. Home Minister Amit Shah has said that BJP has won 85% of the seats in municipal corporation elections in Gujarat and the state has once again become a stronghold of the party. Speaking to media, Mr. Shah said by giving only 44 seats, people have sent a message to the Congress leaders to do self-introspection. President Ramnath Kovind will inaugurate the world's largest Sardar Patel Stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will be present on the occasion. Spread over 63 acres, the stadium will have a seating capacity of 1.10 lakh people. Currently, Melbourne is the largest cricket stadium in the world. It can accommodate 90,000 people. Built at an estimated cost of 800 crore rupees, Motera Stadium houses 76 corporate boxes, an Olympic-level swimming pool, an indoor academy, 4 dressing rooms for athletes, food courts and a clubhouse. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
The newly built world's largest Motera Cricket Stadium is equipped with all modern technologies and facilities necessary for present-day cricket. Former international cricket umpire and cricket analyst Amit Sahiba told AIR that new Motera Stadium has 4 dressing rooms which are necessary to host back-to-back 2020 matches.
लास्ट 30 साल में क्रिकेट ने अलग रूप डेवलप किया है, तो ये नए स्टेडियम में नए रूप से नए क्रिकेट को अनुरूप होके फैसिलिटीज डेवलप की है, जैसे कि देयर आर 4 ड्रेसिंग रूम्स प्लस चारों ड्रेसिंग रूम के पीछे प्लेस के लिए जिम है, वहाँ पे 7 पिचेस का लेआउट बनाया हुआ है, तो हर एक मैच के लिए आप अलग अलग पिच यूज कर सकते हो। अगर बारिश आ जाता है तो जैसा बारिश रुकता है विद इन 30 मिनट्स आप मैच स्टार्ट कर सकते हो। इतना पावरफुल ड्रेनेज सिस्टम बनाया हुआ है। 1,10,000 आदमी यहाँ पे देखने आएंगे, तो उनके लिए 5 मिनट काफी है पूरा स्टेडियम खाली करने के लिए। देयर आर 4 और 5 एग्जिट्स, वो रोड पे पब्लिक जमा नहीं होगी और क्राउड का या ट्रैफिक का कहीं भी कंजक्शन होने वाला नहीं है।
योगेश पंड्या, AIR न्यूज, अहमदाबाद।
All India Radio will broadcast the function live on its FM Gold and Indraprasth channels from 12:30 p.m. onwards today. The broadcast will also be live streamed on AIR Live News 24/7 and Akashvani AIR YouTube channels.
In a first of its kind, the Union Public Service Commission, UPSC, has opened a new centre for the Civil Services Examination in Leh for the candidates from the Union Territory of Ladakh. Preliminary exam will be held on the 27th of June this year. More details from our Leh correspondent.
Sanctioning of new Centre for Civil Services Examination in Leh is a great relief for the aspiring candidates. Leh will be the 73rd centre in the country to hold the preliminary examination for civil services on 27th of June this year. In a communication to the UT Ladakh advisor Umang Narula, the UPSC Secretary Vasudha Mishra informed the decision to allocate a centre in Leh for Ladakh. Leh Deputy Commissioner will be the coordinating supervisor for the Leh centre. The supervisor has to ensure the accessibility, infrastructure and other parameters as prescribed by the UPSC at the exam venues. At least 800 candidates are expected to attend the civil's preliminary exam from the Union Territory Ladakh. After successfully conducting the NEET exam amidst COVID pandemic, now UT administration is taking the civil's exam prestigiously and making all efforts to meet the UPSC indicated list of points by the cut-off dates. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
The 4-day-long Ladakh Winter Conclave concluded yesterday. The second edition of the annual event showcased the potential of winter tourism and adventure activities in Ladakh. Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur chaired the closing ceremony. More details from our Ladakh correspondent.
To promote tourism in Ladakh in winter months, the UT administration has been organizing Ladakh Winter Conclave since last year to formulate a roadmap for unexplored potential of winter tourism in Ladakh and distribute tourism throughout the year. For the first time, it was celebrated in both Leh and Kargil districts as well as through online and offline amidst COVID-19 scenario. This year, the conclave was focused on themes like adventure, culture, heritage and post-COVID revival of tourism as well as branding of Ladakh as tourist destination round the year. Presentation and discussion were held by the experts from tourism industry from across the country to achieve sustainable ecotourism in Ladakh. Lieutenant Governor R.K. Mathur said that the proposed dark sky park is in consideration in Leh for astronomy lovers. With Ramesh Chandra, this is Yangchen Dolma for AIR News from Leh, Ladakh.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says world has noted the strength of country's health sector during COVID-19 pandemic. NDA government's flagship program PM Kisan completes 2 years today. BJP sweeps all 6 municipal corporation elections in Gujarat. President Ramnath Kovind to inaugurate world's largest stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad today. UPSC adds Leh as exam center for civil services candidates from Ladakh. Telangana government to reopen schools for class 6, 7 and 8 from today. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar says India is the only country on track among the G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitments. Nepal's Supreme Court reinstates parliament dissolved by government in December last year. US golfer Tiger Woods hospitalized after a car crash. And in cricket, third test between India and England begins this afternoon in Hyderabad. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
The Telangana government will reopen schools for class 6th, 7th and 8th from today after the COVID lockdown. The schools will have to ensure strict compliance of COVID-19 guidelines, and consent of the parents is mandatory for the students to attend classes. State Chief Secretary Sumesh Kumar directed the district collectors to reopen schools for class 6th to 8th today. He held a review meeting in this regard in Hyderabad yesterday. In Maharashtra, a total of 104 students were selected last year to take part in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Pariksha Pe Charcha 2020. The participation in the thought-provoking program had helped students immensely. A 10th standard student of Kendriya Vidyalaya AFS Thane, Shravani Javle, said she gained a lot of knowledge from the book written by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. As suggested by Mr. Modi, she maintained a daily record of her study and reviewed it weekly. She also said that the advice of the Prime Minister helped her manage exam stress.
On the games which we played, just like normal, like running, he used to tell us that you should run for a day just to relieve your stress.
She also said the Prime Minister gave her valuable advice on meditation.
During paper or before giving the paper, you should at least give 5 minutes to yourself so that you can meditate and concentrate on whatever you are doing.
Nishu Kumari from KV Ambernath also said Pariksha Pe Charcha helped her boost her confidence to face exams. Mumbai's Arsh Anand, a student of Kendriya Vidyalaya IIT Powai, said it was an enlightening experience and appealed the students to participate in this year's Pariksha Pe Charcha.
To be very honest, it was an eye-opener. To be in the same room with the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and HRD Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal was an amazing experience. Qualification for this opportunity is solely based on essay. Attending Pariksha Pe Charcha would be a great overall development for the students. And I would like to encourage every one of you to participate in Pariksha Pe Charcha 2021.
Aimed at boosting toy manufacturing in India and improving its global market share, the National Toy Fair is being held on the virtual platform from 27th of February to 2nd March. Our Mumbai correspondent reports that the exhibitors feel more such virtual toy fairs should be organized in the future.
With just a few days remaining before the National Toy Fair begins, we have been speaking to several exhibitors from Mumbai who are participating in the first of its kind initiative of the central government. One such exhibitor is Mr. Manoj Gala of Manoj Stores, which has been in the business since 1987. It is one of the popular toy stores at Bridge Candy in Mumbai, providing 15,000 varieties under one roof. Mr. Manoj feels the idea of virtual toy fair is a very good initiative by the central government, as it will not only benefit toy manufacturers and retailers, but also enable people all over the country to explore the varieties of toys that are made within the country and from where to order. Besides, he also highlighted challenges faced by the Indian toy industry. Let us listen to what he has to say.
I think the initiative to have a virtual toy fair is a very good initiative by the central government. It will enable people from all over the country to see what is made in the country, from where to order, call for the same. It will help manufacturers and retailers in sourcing. However, just one exhibition for 4 days is not enough and lots more needs to be done.
While the toy makers have welcomed this initiative, they also feel that the government should organize more such exhibitions or toy fairs in future. Sweetie Jain, AR News, Mumbai.
In the wake of increasing COVID cases in different states, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath yesterday reviewed the COVID management in the state and asked officials to augment the vaccination drive. More details on this from our Lucknow correspondent.
Chief Minister of State Yogi Adityanath appealed to the people to remain vigilant, since the danger of coronavirus is not over yet. The Chief Minister said that the scheduled protocol regarding to COVID must be followed in every situation. He directed all district magistrates to conduct meetings in integrated command and control centers as well as in COVID hospitals regularly, and all offices has been directed to run the COVID help desk service properly. People should be regularly made aware of the measures necessary to prevent infection of coronavirus. The Chief Minister asked to conduct testing and contact tracing continuously and effectively across the state. Meanwhile, the government is conducting more than 1 lakh tests per day, despite the fact that new COVID cases are very less. Yesterday, only 108 new patients of coronavirus were found in the state, while 202 patients recovered from this deadly disease. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In a landmark verdict, the Supreme Court of Nepal yesterday reinstated the dissolved House of Representatives. A 5-member constitutional bench led by Chief Justice Cholendra Shamsher Rana annulled the government's decision to dissolve the House of Representatives on the 20th of December 2020. In a surprise move, Nepal President Vidya Devi Bhandari had dissolved Parliament and announced midterm elections in April-May 2021. The move had come in the wake of the request made by Cabinet led by KP Sharma Oli. In an order uploaded on its website, the Supreme Court of Nepal called for the reinstatement of the Parliament.
Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Prakash Javadekar, has said that climate change is the defining issue of our times. Speaking at the UN Security Council yesterday on the theme of climate and security, maintenance of international peace and security, Mr. Javadekar said that India is the only country on track among G20 countries in meeting its climate change commitments.
India is only country on track among the G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitment. We are not only meeting our Paris Agreement's targets, but will exceed them. India currently has the fastest growing solar energy program in the world. We have expanded access to clean cooking fuel to over 80 million households. This is among the largest clean energy drives globally.
Golf legend Tiger Woods suffered serious injuries to both his legs as his car flew off the road yesterday near Los Angeles in the USA. Woods underwent a surgery after the collision, said Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. No other vehicles or passengers were involved in the crash, which occurred on road known for fatal accidents over the years. Woods was found trapped in his vehicle but conscious and was able to identify himself. Firefighters took Woods out from the wreckage of his SUV and transported him to a local hospital where he underwent a surgery.
In cricket, the third test of the 4-match series between India and England will begin this afternoon at Sardar Patel Cricket Stadium, Motera in Ahmedabad. A report. The 4-match test series between India and England is currently levelled at 1-1 after India won the second test at Chepauk Stadium in Chennai by 317 runs. It was Kohli's 21st win in a test match at home as captain, and he equalled MS Dhoni's record of India captain with most test wins at home. If Captain Virat Kohli gets a ton at the pink ball test, he would be crossing Ponting in the list of captains with most international hundreds. It would be Kohli's 42nd international ton as captain, the highest by any player in the world. It would be Kohli's 28th Test 100 currently. Both Ponting and Kohli are tied at the top position in the list with 41 centuries to their name. And this is also the 100th test for 32-year-old pacer Ishant Sharma. India's chances of earning a World Test Championship final spot depends upon the outcome of the remaining tests, and hence India is fielding their strongest bowling attack of the series so far. After a break of one test, Jasprit Bumrah is back in the squad and will lead the pace attack alongside Ishant Sharma, with R. Ashwin and Akshar Patel manning the spin department. Tanvi Khurana, News Desk.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. National capital Delhi witnessed shallow fog. The minimum temperature was around 12 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be 31 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky with temperature varying between 21 and 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will fluctuate between 22 and 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Minimum temperature was around 21 degrees Celsius, while maximum may go up to 32 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was around 13 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 23 degrees Celsius. In Srinagar, there will be rain or snow. Minimum temperature was around 5 degrees Celsius, while it is expected to rise up to 15 degrees Celsius. Leh will see light snow. Minimum temperature was -2 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 8 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will also have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 0 and 19 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards evening or night. The temperature will vary from 8 to 20 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. The city will experience temperature varying between 11 degrees to 27 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky. In Hyderabad, the temperature will hover between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. Ahmedabad will have mainly clear sky. In Patna, the temperature will move between 15 and 30 degrees Celsius with mainly clear sky. And in Guwahati, the sky will be partly cloudy with haze. The minimum temperature was around 14 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be 31 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. In a race against time, vaccine drive needs boost amid spike is a front page headline in the Hindustan Times. The paper adds, sign-ups for 60 plus to begin soon. Those above 50 may have to wait. The Hindu states the experts saying mutant strains did not cause the recent surge. New protocol to test international passengers at the Delhi airport with mandatory RT-PCR tests for those from the UK and Middle East, reports the Indian Express. The Asian Age showcases a picture of the US President and the Vice President participating in a moment of silence at the White House to honor the 5 lakh Americans who died from COVID-19 under the headline, US sees over 500,000 COVID deaths. 118 Arjun tanks among defence buys of 17,000 crore rupees okayed by Ministry of Defence, reports the Times of India. After Metroman, PT Usha may join BJP, observes the Tribune. And finally, as the third international airport in UP gets clearance, Kushinagar facilitates improved connectivity to Buddhist pilgrimage site, writes the Pioneer.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says world has noted the strength of country's health sector during COVID-19 pandemic. NDA government's flagship program PM Kisan completes 2 years today. BJP sweeps all 6 municipal corporation elections in Gujarat. President Ram Nath Kovind to inaugurate world's largest stadium at Motera in Ahmedabad today. UPSC adds Leh as exam center for civil services candidates from Ladakh. Telangana government to reopen schools for class 6, 7 and 8 from today. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar says India is the only country on track among G20 nations to meet its climate change mitigation commitments. Nepal's Supreme Court reinstates parliament dissolved by the government in December last year. US golfer Tiger Woods hospitalized after a car crash. And in cricket, third test between India and England begins this afternoon in Ahmedabad. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.